Hi everyone, I'm KK Downing.
And I'm Rob Halford, the painkiller from
Judas Priest.
And we're here backstage in Dallas.
Sure, for the Headbangers Ball special.
Operation Rock and Roll. Turn it up.
Hi, welcome back to Headbangers Ball, coming to you, of course, from Dallas, Texas, Operation Rock and Roll. And I'm joined right now by the headliners, Judas Priest, Rob and KK. Hi, welcome back to MTV.
Hi, good to be back. Nice to see you again. Looking as lovely as ever. Last time we were together, we were in this cold, dark studio in London. I was sitting on a chair made of bones for Headbangers Ball. Is it still there?
It's still there.
You have to sell me that one of these days.
And here we are now in 90 degrees.
Yes, in 90 degrees in hot and sweaty Dallas. Yes, it smells wonderful out there tonight. It's great. Real
Now,
lucky.
talking of Dallas, I'm going to turn the clock back to 1980, when Judas Priest played 10 Texas shows following the release of the British Steel album. I don't know if you remember that. So 11 years later, you're back here, and are there still times when you're kind of blown away by the success of the band?
Well, I mean, the great thing about Priest is that all these years later, we still feel that we've got a major role to play in heavy metal, not only here in America, but around the world, you know. We still feel that we've got a lot to say musically. We've still got some great shows to put out for people. And no matter where we go, there's always an audience wanting Priest. And we've always been very proud and happy to fly the British heavy metal flag, because that's one thing we've always made perfectly clear, that that's where we're from, and we're happy to make it known to people wherever we go that Priest is one of the first bands that brought out this style of music from the UK. But it's still exciting. It's still got a lot of surprises, still a lot of energy, and we still love it more than ever before.
Mm-hmm. But you've always remained very uncompromising in your approach. Do you think that that's another of the keys to the longevity of the band?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that Rob hit the key thing really, because I do remember, in actual fact, about all those years ago, it was with Foghat, I think, an REO Speedwagon. Of course, we come along from the UK, which has always been a little bit sort of like more advanced musically, we like to think. And of course, we would do like a 20-minute spot, if you remember then.
Without spotlights and stuff.
We just went, like, it was all hell let loose, you know, like with the leather and the studs, and like obviously people never seen the like before.
They were standing there in the silks and satins going, what's that, man?
And audiences always want something that's new, brash and exciting, you know, and as you said, it did happen relatively quite quickly for us in the States, but I think that speaks for itself, that excitement and visual and something new will always attract the crowds.
But we've never made a compromise, as you say. We've always been, you know, a pretty hard, brutal band, and we've always tried to be on the leading edge of metal, trying to prove that it's not one-dimensional, that you can still do lots of things, you can stretch it, you can do things from Point of Entry through Turbo, through Screaming of Vengeance, British Steel, Painkiller. We've always tried to let people see that there's more to it than just the obvious, and that's where we will never compromise. We'll always try and make one step ahead and try and lead wherever we can, if possible.
Gonna get you free. Oh.
been said many times, Judas Priest is kind of the ultimate heavy metal band. Are you aware of how many young bands you've influenced?
I think as we go on and the longer we're around, it's fantastic to receive all these compliments, you know. We recently did a tour here in America with Megadeth and Testament, both of whom said how much they admired Priest and how much we were somehow inspirational to them. Same when we came over through Europe with the Painkiller tour with Pantera and Annihilator. And it's just wonderful, you know. I think we pass it on because we ourselves, we were influenced and we were inspired by people as we were growing up listening to music and getting into heavy metal and stuff. And so everybody seems to pass it back on from band to band. And I think it'll always be that way. It's real nice when you get those things said.
It's a great compliment, as Rob says, really. I mean, quite a lot of bands have actually said that they sort of grew up listening to, the reason they started playing guitar was when they started listening to Sad Wings of Destiny and stuff like that. And that's absolutely great for me, because the reason I started playing guitar was when I first listened to Jimi Hendrix, you know, I experienced, and it's kind of strange really to be playing on the same stage. And what can I say? It's a real success story. I mean, I'm just happy with everything, really. It's a great situation to be in.
Yeah. I guess Judas Priest almost defined the term heavy metal, but you've never let that definition kind of stifle your creativity, have you?
No, I mean, for a short time in Britain at least, when the punk thing was coming around, heavy metal was a dirty word, you know, and we were never for 1 minute afraid of saying that that's what we always have been and always ever wanted to be. And you get all these different things said about heavy metal, and there's a lot of satire associated with it and a lot of fun and joking about, which I think you have to take it as part of the business, you know. I mean, all different kinds of music gets attacked in one way or form or shape, but the great thing about metal is that it has survived all these years, continues to be a very powerful source of inspiration and pleasure to millions of people all over the world, and so that's you know, that's what it's all about and all we've ever wanted to be.
Now, you've always placed such an emphasis on touring, and you have had a live LP out in the past. I was wondering if Priest would ever consider doing another live LP, because that's your sort of main forte, isn't it?
I'm sure there's a time for it, and you know, live albums are a bit like an ace card, really. I mean, they tend to capture a period of time that you've gone through with recorded albums and playing those recorded albums live as you do through the years. So there will be I would hope another Priest live album soon, but it's just the timing more than anything that you have to be right with. So I don't know whether it'll be, I'm sure it won't be next year, because we've already got plans to write and record a new album in '92, so maybe '93, maybe '94. You know, you've got to try and project, but it's just down to timing when you release something like that.
It's just an instinctive feeling that you get, hey, it's about time to do a live album, you know, for some reason. Maybe you just cross a certain threshold or a point in the band's career.
And it's just like something for the fans to keep, because it's great if when I listen to Priest live now, it's a very exciting, powerful record to listen to. And if you were part of the tour in the audience, you put it on, put the headphones on, close your eyes, and you're there, you know. And it's a magical trip to go through with that album. You can imagine all the things that were happening on stage, and it's just a nice thing to have in your collection.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, being on tour all the time, when do you find time to write new songs? Are you able to write on tour, or do you have to have some time off and then go back into it? How does that work?
No. After the tour, we just have to take some time off and then just sort of get some ideas together as individuals, you know, take a break from everything. And then when the time's right, just get together and amalgamate all the ideas. But it's impossible to write on the road. It's just crazy, you know.
You do end up writing about Howard Johnson's holiday inns and Hyatt's, and your laundry didn't come back and there's a pair of socks missing and that kind of stuff, you know. But No, as Ken says, I mean, with this many albums and with this many songs, 140, 150 original songs, it takes us time to get off the tour, just relax a bit, just shut everything off for a while, and then collectively come back and make a plan, literally make a plan of how we're going to construct a record, how we're going to define it musically, what tempo of the songs, all these different ideas, lyrical ideas, whatever it might be, and more importantly, just try and avoid repetition, try and have something fresh and new and different and exciting to carry you through to the next step. Each one is really a step forward. We like to feel that every one of them has a really vital and important part and place in the history of heavy metal. So it's a real blood, sweat and tears job, but we love it because it's a challenge more than anything else as well, isn't it, Ken? You know, to come up with something new. You've got all these things that you're plucking out of thin air, and after so many weeks, months of writing, there it is. You've created this new metal monster, new Judas Priest thing, and away you are. You know, it's great.
And I'm sure you'd agree, it'd be true to say that another of Priest's inner strengths is the fact that you're all friends and you have been for a long time, you know each other really well, and you have your space as well, don't you?
Very important, as you say, the actual friendship relationship is vitally important to being able to write, to be artistically constructive, and to be able to relate to each other. You've got to be good friends, you know. So that's important. But again, the great thing about Priest is that although we, you know, collectively we write music by Judas Priest, myself, Ken, Glenn, Ian, Scott, we've all got very different ideas, and it's that amalgamation of all these different ideas that make Priest music. I think if we'd have all been thinking in the same direction, the music would have been very bland and boring, but it's very exciting and very challenging sometimes to battle out what's the best part for a song. It would be interesting for people to be a fly on the wall in a Priest writing session or recording session, because it's very exciting and very powerful, you know, and you have your tense moments as well as your exciting moments, but it's all heading towards the final thing of making a powerful, brutal Priest album.
Okay, that's just about it for this Headbangers Ball from Dallas. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage of Operation Rock and Roll, and I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank all the bands involved and of course Sony Music for making this program possible. I'm going to say goodbye now with this beautiful Dallas skyline in the background with the brand new video from Metallica. It's taken from their forthcoming album, which is untitled a la Led Zeppelin's Four Symbols, but will probably become known unofficially as the Black Album due to the nature of its black packaging. So it's goodbye from Dallas with Enter Sandman from Metallica.